I said a few weeks ago that this report would rock Whitehall to its foundations, and it should rock Whitehall to its foundations. I am pleased to see Sir Brian confirm, in my view, what I said in my final speech to Parliament, that this was a criminal cover-up on an industrial scale. The criminal word is mine. He just says cover-up, but I believe it is a criminal cover-up on an industrial scale. I certainly would like to see prosecutions. There has to be full accountability here for what happened, alongside that full apology, a meaningful apology, and a full compensation scheme immediately. If you were to crystallise what you think has gone wrong over decades politically with the political system, there's been denial, disregard, disrespect for these families. I think I explained, I'll answer that question as kind of directly as I can. I think the blame rests somewhere over there in the Treasury, because I know that they have had a sort of grip on this issue, that no statements admitting liability could be made by anybody. Because that was the view of the British state from the start, that the kind of fear of financial exposure couldn't be allowed to be opened up, and that was the grip that they put on this from the start. And I think that explains why the line never changed over the years. And what do you think that has meant for the many victims of this? It's re-traumatising. It's the original harm of the infection to loved ones, but then that re-traumatising effect of being left in the wilderness for all of those years, shouting to be heard. You know, it's just taken far too long for this day to come, but actually it would have been quite possible that this day never did come, because the cover-up was so orchestrated and was so strong. But finally it's been broken. But coming out of it, as I say, Whitehall should be rocked to its foundations. We need major reform to the way this country is run. Because look at the pattern here. Hillsborough, Post Office, today infected blood. The story is the same. The story is the same. A major wrong is done, and then it's covered up for decades, and the victims are left in the wilderness. How many more times are we going to allow this to happen to people? There must be a full Hillsborough law put on the statute book, with Sir Brian's recommendation of a statutory duty of candour on all senior civil servants. That is the only way we will break this pattern. At the heart of all of this, all of these scandals that you've referenced, ordinary people not being listened to by the authorities, by Parliament, by ministers. And they're there today, and it's heartbreaking in one way just to see everybody there. Honestly, the weariness on their faces, but today some elation and kind of the weight lifted finally off their shoulders. But they should never have been in this position, on this scale, for all of those years. A criminal cover-up on an industrial scale. That is what infected blood is, and that is why there now needs to be full redress on every level. And you think prosecutions are part of justice? And prosecutions also should follow. Andy Burnham, thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you.